When most people think of a locksmith, they imagine being locked out and needing a quick fix. But Locksmith Services go far beyond emergency lockouts. From protecting your home and business to replacing lost keys and upgrading security, professional locksmiths provide solutions that help New Yorkers stay safe and prepared.
Yeah, I mean, it really is this massive shift in perspective when you actually look at it closely.
Right.
Because we tend to view this entire industry just through the lens of, our own most stressful moment.
The panic moments. Yeah.
Exactly, the panic moments. And we completely miss the fact that it's actually the literal foundation of our modern everyday safety.
And that is exactly what we are getting into today. So welcome to today's deep dive, which we are calling More Than Just Lockouts. The Locksmith Services in Brooklyn, Manhattan, and Queens, every New Yorker should know.
It's a big topic.
It really is, because whether you are, say, securing a classic Brooklyn brownstone or managing a high-traffic storefront over in Manhattan, the technology guarding your life has undergone this just massive hidden evolution.
Oh, absolutely.
And you interact with this tech every single day, right? Usually without a second thought. So before we get into the mechanics of how this fascinating security actually works, I do want to introduce the sponsor making today's deep dive possible.
Gabon's actually doing the work.
Right, because they are the local pros actually out there doing this work on the ground. We are super thrilled to be sponsored by Bolt Locksmith Williamsburg.
Great team.
They really are. They offer 24/7 service, 365 days a year, and they operate right out of their locations in Williamsburg and DUMBO. You can reach them anytime at 929-294-4250.
So, okay, let's unpack this.
Well, where should we even start?
I think we have to start with the psychology of an emergency, because an emergency isn't just, locking yourself out of your apartment, right?
Exactly, no.
It's a broken key snapped off inside a floor safe, or maybe it's a commercial security system that completely locks up on a Monday morning.
Oh, those are a nightmare.
Right. Or arguably the worst case scenario, the urgent need for a lock change right after a break-in attempt.
Yeah, and time is just the ultimate critical factor in every single one of those scenarios.
Oh, for sure.
Like, in a bustling environment like New York City, the rhythm of the day is just relentless. So a broken lock doesn't just present a physical barrier,
It totally derails you.
It completely disrupts your ability to function. It halts your ability to open your business, to go to work, or, frankly, to just feel safe in your own living room.
Yeah, that makes sense.
What's fascinating here is how the industry adapts to that urgency. That's why you see local professionals, like the team at Bolt Locksmith, prioritizing a 30-minute response time across Brooklyn, Manhattan, and Queens.
Which, that is an incredibly ambitious goal given New York traffic alone.
It really is a feat.
But I like to think of an emergency locksmith as like a first responder for your peace of mind.
I like that analogy.
Because when someone is locked out in the cold or feeling completely vulnerable because their front door was compromised, a professional arriving with the right tools isn't just, manipulating a piece of metal.
Oh, it's way deeper than that.
They are effectively resetting your psychological baseline. They're taking this chaotic, totally unpredictable situation, and they're reintroducing control.
Exactly. And part of reintroducing that control is actually having the expertise to solve the problem without causing even more damage.
Like just drilling the lockout.
Right. A true professional isn't just showing up with a power drill to destroy your front door. They deeply understand the internal mechanics of a pin tumbler system.
So what are they actually doing when they pick it?
Well, they use specialized tension tools and picks to gently elevate these tiny microscopic pins inside your lock.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they lift them to this exact point called the shear line. And that allows the cylinder to turn as if the original key were actually in it. It's a highly delicate tactile skill, and they're doing it under immense pressure.
But, that psychological reset we talked about, that relief of finally getting back inside your apartment, I feel like that really only lasts until you look at the door and realize how easily it failed in the first place.
Oh, 100%.
That is the exact moment most people realize they need a hardware upgrade. And the shift happening in residential security right now is just wild.
It's moving incredibly fast.
Yeah, like we are moving way away from traditional metal deadbolts and straight into some seriously advanced territory.
We absolutely are. We are talking about the seamless integration of Digital technology into physical barriers, sure,
Yeah.
but also a massive leap forward in just the mechanical hardware itself.
Well, let's break that down, actually, because I hear terms thrown around a lot when people talk about upgrading their apartment doors.
Like what?
Like, what is the actual difference between a standard deadbolt and, say, a mortise cylinder? Because I see mortise locks mentioned constantly as this premium upgrade.
Oh, that's a great question. It really comes down to structural integrity.
Okay.
So a standard deadbolt is essentially just a cylindrical piece of hardware that is bored directly through the face of your door.
Right, the typical circle lock.
Exactly. It's effective, but the lock itself is somewhat exposed on the surface. A mortise lock, on the other hand, requires a pocket or a mortise to be physically carved deep into the edge of the door itself.
Oh, so it's hidden inside.
Yes. The entire locking mechanism, which is essentially this heavy-duty rectangular steel cassette, slides right into that pocket.
So the door itself basically acts as armor for the lock.
Exactly. You are turning the entire edge of the door into a secure housing.
That makes total sense.
It is structurally much stronger and just far more resistant to someone trying to kick the door in or pry it open with a crowbar. That's exactly why you see mortise locks on high-end commercial spaces and, classic Brooklyn brownstones.
Wow, okay. And what about the actual keys and cylinders? When you look at top-tier brands from the sources like Schlage, Yale, Medeco, or Multi-Lock, what makes them quote-unquote high security? Because, to me, a metal key is just a metal key.
Well, this is where the engineering gets incredibly clever.
Okay, I'm listening.
In a standard lock, the key has cuts on the top that simply lift small metal pins to a specific height. If they reach the right height, boom, the lock turns.
Right, the shearer line we talked about.
Exactly. But high-security locks, like Medeco, for example, they add a completely new dimension to that. The pins inside the lock have angled bottoms, and the key itself has these specifically angled cuts.
Wait, angled?
Yeah. So to open a high-security lock, the key doesn't just have to lift the pins to the precise height. It actually has to rotate each individual pin to a specific, unique angle.
Oh, wow. So instead of a simple 2D puzzle of just lifting things straight up, it's like a 3D puzzle.
Precisely. It is mathematically almost impossible to bump or pick those locks quickly because you are fighting on multiple axes simultaneously.
Okay, I absolutely love the mechanical ingenuity of that, but I feel like we also have to talk about the digital side.
Ah, yes, smart locks.
Yes, because smart locks are everywhere now. We've got Wi-Fi connected deadbolts, Bluetooth keyless entry systems, all of it, and I really have to push back here.
Sir, go ahead.
Are these smart locks actually making us safer? Because I'll be perfectly honest, the idea of my front door crashing because it needs a firmware update or getting locked out of my own house just because the Wi-Fi dropped, that gives me serious anxiety.
And that is a very valid concern. It really is. It's exactly why DIY smart lock installations often end in a complete disaster.
I can imagine.
But this is where professional installation bridges the gap between that digital convenience and actual physical security.
How so, though? Like, if the Wi-Fi drops, it's out of their hands.
True, but a professional locksmith ensures there are mechanical fail-safes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a well-designed smart lock always has a high-security physical key override hidden behind a panel or backup battery terminals on the exterior, so you are never truly stranded.
That's relief.
Furthermore, a massive issue with smart locks is the tiny motorized mechanism that actually throws the deadbolt.
Right, the little motor inside.
Yeah. If an amateur installs it and the door is even slightly misaligned, that little motor has to fight against the metal strike plate every single time it locks.
Oh, I see where this is going.
Yeah. Within 6 months, the motor completely burns out. A seasoned locksmith perfectly aligns the frame, the hinges, and the strike plate so that deadbolt glides effortlessly.
Okay, that makes a ton of sense.
A smart lock installed poorly is a massive vulnerability. But a smart lock installed by a licensed professional is a formidable upgrade.
Right, it's not just about the tech you buy, it's about the application of that tech in the real world.
Exactly.
Now, New Yorkers aren't just protecting their apartments and homes, right? We are constantly on the move.
Always.
And before we dive into the fascinating ways we protect our vehicles today, I want to take a quick pause to acknowledge the local pros keeping everyone moving. Once again, we are sponsored by Bolt Locksmith Williamsburg. When it comes to securing your home, your business, or your car, reputation is absolutely everything.
It's the most important thing.
It really is. And Bolt Locksmith is known for their incredible 5-star reviews and this stellar reputation they've built providing locksmith services all across Brooklyn and Queens. Their customers consistently rave about their reliability and speed, which we know is crucial. When you are dealing with your personal safety, you just need someone licensed, bonded, and insured with a real track record of excellence in the local community. You can reach Bolt Locksmith right now at 929-294-4250. Again, that's 929-294-4250. So, keeping with this idea of being on the move, let's talk about automotive locksmithing.
Oh, this is a fun one.
I am looking at the list of modern car tech here. Transponders, proximity keys, fob programming, and it completely blows my mind that a local mobile locksmith handles this stuff.
Most people don't realize they do.
I definitely didn't. I always assumed if I lost my smart key, I was legally obligated to just pay a car dealership $2,000 and wait 3 weeks for a replacement.
A lot of people still think that.
How is a mobile locksmith actually overriding a modern luxury car's computer on the side of the highway?
If we connect this to the bigger picture, it is one of the most drastic evolutions in the entire security industry.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Automotive locksmithing has fundamentally transitioned from mechanical mastery straight into advanced cryptographic programming.
Cryptographic programming? That sounds intense.
It is. Decades ago, preventing car theft was just about complex physical pins in the ignition cylinder. Today, a modern car won't even crank the starter motor unless the microchip inside the key fob successfully completes a cryptographic handshake with the vehicle's onboard immobilizer computer.
A cryptographic handshake. Okay, you have to explain that to me because it sounds like something out of a spy movie.
It essentially is. So, to prevent thieves from simply recording the radio signal from your key fob and then replaying it later to unlock your car, automotive engineers developed something called rolling codes.
Rolling codes. Okay.
Every single time you press the button on your key fob, it uses a complex algorithm to generate a brand new, one-time mathematical password.
Wait, like the two-factor authentication codes you get on your phone? But it's happening invisibly.
Exactly like that. The car's computer and the key fob are totally synchronized. When you press unlock, the car receives that specific password, unlocks the door, and then both the car and the key internally generate the next password on the list.
Oh, wow.
So if a thief records your signal today, it's completely useless tomorrow because the car is already expecting a new, entirely different mathematical code.
That is incredible. So when a locksmith comes to help you with a lost key, they aren't just, cutting a piece of metal in their van.
Not at all. They are literally plugging specialized diagnostic computers into your car's OBD2 port right under the dashboard.
That is wild.
Yeah, they have to communicate with the vehicle's security module, bypass the factory anti-theft protocols, and then program a blank microchip to authorize a brand new digital signature.
And what happens to the old key? The one you lost?
Crucially, they often wipe the old lost key from the car's memory, so that ensures that whoever finds your dropped keys in the street can't just use them to steal your car.
Oh, that's brilliant.
It is sophisticated IT work, and it's performed dynamically out in the field.
So you aren't just paying for a piece of plastic. You're paying for mobile tech support to rewrite your car's security protocol on the fly.
Pretty much.
Which I think brings us to the next massive scale of security. Because we've covered personal property, our homes and our cars, but what about the local economy? The neighborhood infrastructure? I want to talk about commercial access control.
Commercial security is an entirely different beast compared to residential.
I can imagine.
The scale, the liability, and the daily wear and tear are just exponentially higher. I mean, a residential door lock might be turned 10 times a day.
Sure.
A commercial door lock on a storefront in Manhattan might cycle 1,000 times a day.
And the hardware is completely different too, right? Like I see terms like electric strikes and panic hardware all the time in commercial building specs. What exactly is an electric strike? I feel like I probably use them all the time without even knowing what they are.
Oh, if you live in an apartment building with a buzzer or work in a modern office, you definitely use them.
Okay, so how do they work?
Well, normally your door's latch rests inside a fixed stationary metal hole on the door frame. That's called the strike plate.
Right.
An electric strike replaces that fixed metal hole with a motorized hinged metal lip.
Oh. So the door frame itself is the active mechanism.
Yes. When someone buzzes you in, an electrical current actually releases the internal hinge on that lip.
Okay.
The metal lip literally pivots out of the way, which allows you to pull the door open without ever turning the handle or retracting the latch.
Oh, wow. I never realized that.
Yeah, and the moment the door closes, the lip snaps back into place and locks automatically.
That is so cool. And what about panic hardware? What is that?
Those are the large horizontal crash bars you see on the inside of commercial exit doors.
Oh, right. Like at movie theaters.
Exactly. And that isn't just for convenience. It is strictly regulated life safety fire code.
Really?
Oh, yeah. In the event of an emergency, a crowd of panicking people must be able to just push their body weight against the door to unlatch it and escape a burning building.
Without needing to turn a knob.
Right, without needing fine motor skills.
Right?
A commercial locksmith is responsible for ensuring those heavy-duty mechanical bars operate flawlessly to literally save lives.
But I have to ask about the day-to-day management of all this.
It can get overwhelming.
I bet. Between the electric strikes, the fire codes, the intercoms, and the traditional keys, how does a small business owner manage this without having a total nervous breakdown? It sounds like they need an IT degree just to manage their front door.
And that is exactly the friction that professional commercial locksmiths exist to eliminate.
So they simplify it.
Yes. Their job is to synthesize these complex systems into a seamless routine. And honestly, the perfect example of this is the master key system.
Yes. I've always wanted to know this. How does a master key system actually work mechanically? Like, how can one single lock accept two entirely different physical keys?
It comes down to this brilliant mechanical trick called master wafers.
Master wafers. Okay.
We talked earlier about how a standard lock has tiny pins that need to be lifted to a specific height, the shear line for the lock to turn right.
Right, the pins match the key.
Well, your specific key lifts the pins to that exact line. But in a master keyed system, a locksmith disassembles the cylinder completely.
Okay.
And they drop an extra tiny flat metal disc, a master wafer, right into those pin stacks.
Ooh.
Yeah. By adding that tiny wafer, they create a second shear line inside the exact same lock.
That is wild.
Right. That means two different heights and therefore two entirely different keys can successfully align the pins and turn the cylinder.
That is absolutely brilliant. So, like, an employee's key lifts the pins to shear line A, which only works on the supply closet.
Exactly.
But the manager's key lifts the pins to shear line B, which works on the supply closet, the front door, and the cash room.
Spot on. So the business owner doesn't need to carry a heavy shoebox full of 50 random physical keys.
Thank goodness.
The locksmith literally engineers the mathematical flow of entry and exit so the business operates securely and intuitively.
Wow. Having established all of this immense technical complexity, though, I mean, from the cryptographic handshakes in our cars to the master wafers in our commercial buildings, the final and probably most vital piece of the puzzle is who you actually trust to install and maintain all of this.
List is everything.
Because trust really is the bedrock of the entire security industry. You are literally handing someone the keys to your livelihood.
Which is exactly why vetting your security professionals is just paramount. You should never, ever compromise on utilizing technicians who are fully licensed, bonded, and insured.
Right, it's about accountability.
It guarantees a level of accountability. If something goes wrong, you are protected.
And transparency is huge, too.
Oh, massive.
You should always expect fair, transparent pricing and a free, no-obligation quote before a technician even touches your door. Because when you are in a vulnerable position, you know, like during a lockout in the middle of the night,
You're panicked.
Exactly. You need to know the professional arriving on scene operates with integrity, outlining costs up front, rather than surprising you with all these hidden fees after the lock is already picked.
And ideally, you want a locksmith who acts more like a consultant, helping you prevent problems before they even start.
That's a great point.
Proactive security is always more effective and drastically cheaper than reactive emergency service.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Let's talk about prevention tips for a second, because we do a terrible job at this as a society.
We really do.
Like, we change the oil in our cars religiously, but we completely ignore the mechanical deadbolts we use every single day until they jam. So what should we be doing?
Well, first and foremost, stop using WD-40 on your door locks.
Wait, really? That is always my immediate go-to.
It is almost everyone's go-to, and it is terrible for lock cylinders.
Why? I thought it lubricated it.
So WD-40 is a wet lubricant. It temporarily makes things smooth, sure, but it attracts dust, dirt, and microscopic metal shavings.
Oh, gross.
Yeah, and over time, that debris mixes with the liquid and forms this thick, sticky sludge inside the lock cylinder, which actually jams those delicate tiny pins we just spent all this time talking about.
Wow, okay. So what should we use instead?
You should use a dry graphite powder or a specialized Teflon-based lock lubricant. It lubricates the metal perfectly without acting as a magnet for grime.
Good to know.
Secondly, be proactive about rekeying.
Like if you lose a key.
Exactly. If you lose a key, don't just shrug it off and hope whoever finds it doesn't know where you live.
Yeah.
Have a professional rekey the cylinder. It's inexpensive, and it immediately restores your security baseline.
That makes total sense.
And finally, just don't wait until a lock breaks completely to call for help.
Like, look out for warning signs.
Right. If your key is suddenly sticking, or you have to, lift the door handle up just to get the deadbolt to turn, you have a mechanical alignment issue.
Get it fixed early.
Exactly. This raises an important question. Why wait? Get it serviced before you find yourself locked out in the freezing rain at 2 in the morning.
That is painfully accurate. We tolerate so much friction in our physical security, just assuming locks are these static, indestructible objects. But as we've learned today, from Wi-Fi deadbolts to transponder keys to commercial master systems, locks are dynamic, highly engineered systems.
They absolutely are. Locksmiths are performing highly technical engineering and IT work right on the front lines of our daily routines.
And that really brings us to the core message of today. Locksmiths are more than just emergency responders who show up when you lose a key. They are dedicated security professionals who help protect what matters most to you. Whether you need immediate middle-of-the-night assistance or you want to thoughtfully improve your property's security infrastructure, having a reliable, licensed locksmith you can trust makes all the difference in the world. So, thank you for listening to today's deep dive. Stay prepared, stay safe, and remember, when you're locked out, the smartest solution is to call the experts. If you're in the New York area, call our sponsor now, Bolt Locksmith Williamsburg, for trusted locksmith services in Brooklyn and Queens, NY. Schedule your locksmith inspection today. You can reach them by phone at 929-294-4250. Remember, Bolt Locksmith provides 24-hour locksmith service across Brooklyn, Queens, and Manhattan. Their licensed technicians handle residential, commercial, and automotive work. That includes lockouts, lock repair, rekeying, key replacement safes, and advanced security systems. Again, that phone number is 929-294-4250.
And as we wrap up, I want to leave you with one final thought to mull over. We talked today about the incredible leap from physical mechanical hardware to smart, connected devices. As our physical keys rapidly evolve into invisible digital signals, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, proximity fobs, what will the concept of a master key even look like in the next decade? Will our digital identities, perhaps the biometric data on our smartphones, completely replace the jingling metal on our keychains? And as that transition accelerates, how will the local locksmith continue to adapt to secure not just our physical doors, but the digital gateways to our lives?